Hello, everyone. I am Nicole Townsend, the president-elect for NAWBO Sacramento Valley chapter. And I'm so happy to be able to be here with you all in our first Lunch and Learn for 2026. Thank you, Olivia from Programs, for supporting this event, as you do so many with your partner, Morgan. So appreciate you. Today, I was going to talk about reflection and direction for business owners. So, who really on this call has actually done their goals for this year for their business and probably for, oh, Lori, hey, Kim. Wow, superstars. Okay. Well, a lot of us actually have are in the spot of just thinking about it. And actually, I found for myself that this time of year, about mid-January, is probably the best time for me to do this work because it gives me the time and opportunity without all the work at the end of the year, closing out, invoices and projects and doing holiday shopping and planning and all those things. It gives me time mid-January to really reflect fully on the past year and then look forward and plan for the new year. So I'm showing you kind of an unconventional approach to how I do goal planning, goal setting, and really kind of in a way, even my own performance review, all on one piece of paper that I use the entire year. So we'll get into that. And let me try to get this into the chat for you. It's still saying I cannot send it. So I am going to send this to you, Miss Olivia, and you can drop it in the chat. I'll text it over. And then you'll have something to use as we walk through the different steps. So it's a little bit of process and it's a little bit of creativity. So hopefully this works for people, who are more of the artistic side and more of the process system side to bring all of that together. So I'm going to pull up my slides here so I can show you what we're doing. There we are. Okay, so just so I am the founder and CEO. I just promoted myself last December of Experience Counts as an employee experience company. I also work on company culture and work with leaders and executives in establishing their mission, vision, values, launching them, and then actually living up to them and integrating them throughout their organizations. So I've had my business for 6 years next month. And this is, again, something that's helped me as I set realistic and achievable goals. So it's about looking back with purpose and moving forward with intention. And when we're thinking about things that are real, it's about having that authenticity and self-awareness to be able to, because we're our own bosses, right? To be able to say, how did I do last year compared to what I planned? And where do I want to go and push myself forward? If any of you worked in corporate before, you would do this through probably 3 different processes. You'd have your goal setting, right? And they'd cascade down, and then you'd have your quarterly coaching sessions with your leader and your annual performance review. So this is, again, all in one. And you're going to see at the end how it all comes together. If you have questions, just let me know along the way. Olivia, did that get into the chat?
It's saying I can't, sorry, my dogs are going off. It's saying
okay.
I can't upload it, so I am sending a link instead. I put it on
Perfect.
Google Drive, so you should be able to open that link now.
Okay, and if anybody needs it after, we'll get it to you. So why reflect and plan together? It's kind of like, if you squish the words together, like reflanning. But reflection is really about giving you insight, right? To what did you think you were going to do? What did you start the year with? How did it actually go? And then planning, of course, gives you direction. But if you put them together, they create this momentum that really helps you be authentic, helps you be real and realistic with yourself, and it gives you that energy to move forward into the new year. So how it works. Okay, so this is where the top 3 things you need to do. You need to carve out some time. So make sure that you have an adequate amount of time to really think about um, everything that is in the worksheet I provided to you. You can work on that prior, but in 2 sessions if you want, and take notes first and then do the second part later. But carve out time, enough time, either in 1 or more sessions, to think about things like what you accomplished last year, right? And you may need to go back and look at your calendar. I do that all the time to say, oh, what did I actually do? Oh, yeah, I might have forgot. Like I did this one speaking engagement. So, those are things you want to pull out and really reflect on. A camera roll, I read about this, using even your phone camera roll can help jog your memory. A lot of times, maybe for personal things, but you probably have a lot of things that you've done as well for work in your business. I know I have a ton of NAWBO photos on my camera roll. So that's something I enjoy looking at the end of the year. So those are ways you can reflect, even looking at your social media and your posts. Then you want to gather your tools. Okay, so this is where we get creative. So I use a flip chart paper about this size. Okay, it's not the giant one. We need to be realistic, remember? I think it's 15 by 18, but I'm pretty sure. Okay, then whatever, even if you cannot draw, this is not about being an artist. This is about reflecting and planning. Get your favorite pens, these scent ones. Those are cool. And then you've got different thicknesses and stuff because you're going to write, you're going to draw, you're going to do all kinds of things, okay? So you want to have those things in front of you when you're creating your plan. And then just embrace the process, really embrace and be open to giving yourself feedback. Again, we don't have a boss to do that for us anymore. So it's us. We need to be honest with ourselves and not too hard on ourselves either. Be realistic. So think about past year realistically and fairly to yourself. And then what do you want to do realistically and stretch for in this year that you're in? So I have not done this yet for my reflection on 25 and my goal planning for 26. I will be doing that next week. So what you're going to see here is my piece from last year. So I'm going to show you in little snippets so we can go through each part. Again, you ask questions. If I don't see your hand, Olivia may see it because I can't see everybody right now. Okay, so you're going to have that flip chart paper and really think about in the middle of it, what is something that symbolizes the most proud moment of last year? And this is a symbol, this is a drawing. This is really where I encourage, if you do any drawing at all, it is here because you are symbolizing something that was so important to you that you're proud of. And when you have this up throughout the year, your eyes are going to go right to that, right? I have these in front of me. I go and I see that right in the middle, okay? For me, in 2024, I was a breast cancer survivor. Okay, that doesn't really have to do with work, but it kind of does because I can't work unless I'm healthy, right? So this was my number one accomplishment for 2024 when I was looking back at this time last year. Okay, so it doesn't have to be fancy. It can be like an icon, a symbol. Okay, but what is your most proud moment? And this is all within your worksheet too, to think through these things. Step 2, you want to write the goals that you started last year with. So for me, my goals of the prior year were things like diversify my client base. I wanted to create training for my book, broaden my exposure. And this is where the reflection comes in. How did I do? That's the next step. Bam. Okay, so I used the half X because I did not diversify my client base to where I wanted it to be. I did expand my team, my strategic talent of contractors. I halfway built more packages, so I got a little closer. I did create training for my book, and I did broaden my exposure. So what I encourage is you have these little boxes. You use symbols like the half mark is, I got there, but not all the way. Your X is for I did it, right? And I think I put an O for didn't start, or, even changed your goals. You have to be flexible enough to change your goals through the year. Okay. So step 4, consider your unplanned wins. This is super fun. Did any of you have any unplanned wins this year? Things you didn't put in your goals, but like came up for you and you got to accomplish? Someone want to share if you have them? Am I seeing anybody?
I will, one of the things that's ongoing, is to raise, funds for our organization. And we were the recipient, or are the recipients of a $20,000 grant, for our organization. And that was completely unexpected.
Wow, Dawn, congratulations.
Thank
And share
you.
with everybody what your organization is.
We are Zion Girls Leadership and Collegiate Preparatory Academy, and we are a 10-month mentoring program for girls that have been impacted by parental incarceration. And so either they have a parent or parents. Sometimes that's the case where both parents are incarcerated. Um, and so what we're finding is a lot of times the general public will, you know, conclude that since the girls are either with the other parent or extended family, that they're okay. And so the realization is they're not okay, because they still have that void and they have no relatable community, nobody to really talk to about this living experience. And so that's what we do. We mentor the girls through that healing process of stigmatisms, help them prepare for higher education, and then get them engaged in civic and community activities.
So Dawn, Dawn is the executive director, right?
Yeah.
And she leads this nonprofit organization, but she also has a day job. So pretty amazing. And
Yeah.
she is so amazing. She's one of our Al Award finalists this year. So we can tell you more about that Al Awards at the end
Yeah.
of this.
And that was
Thank
an
you.
achievement as well, because that was I'm still
Yeah.
blown away by that.
Yeah, well, you could put it right here, right? When you're looking back on your year and
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
So, this is where you're like, wow, these are things I didn't expect. And, for me, it was really I had written a book and launched it in October of 23. But I wanted to expand its reach, right? And so created an audio book and workshop, and I was named to the NAWBO Sacramento Board. Woo! That was awesome. So these are the things where you can really celebrate what you accomplished last year that you were not expecting. Okay. All right. All right. So then we want to think about challenges and reality. So what you're really looking at here is you're looking back again and saying, what lessons did I learn, right? So for me, I was looking back this time last year to 2024. Of course, the number one thing I learned was that health is paramount, and that asking for help, which is something I was not good at, makes you stronger. Positivity heals, and challenge can actually increase your patience. So a lot of these were things that I needed that weaved in my personal life, my health, and the way I really ran my business. So it's really great to reflect on what lessons you learned. Does anybody want to share a lesson learned that comes to mind? we're always learning lessons as business owners and entrepreneurs. So, okay.
I can share.
Thank you, Olivia.
My unexpected win and my challenge go like hand in hand, as some of you know. I had a studio space in East Sacramento, and long story short, I got kicked out of it. That's basically what happened. And so there were a few months where I was kind of freaking out. And my unexpected win was finding a new space, which we're having the grand opening for this weekend. And the lesson I learned is that when one door closes, you just have to trust that another one is going to open, and it's probably going to be a better door. But if you told me that in July, I would have like not believed you. So, you know, hindsight is 2020. And yeah, just I've learned a lot of trust in a greater plan, in my community and my support system and the network I've built for myself. A lot of the resources that helped me get to where I am came through my network. So it's kind of a long answer, but those are some of the lessons I learned.
No, that's perfect. And see, if you do this year, you would have those things written down to remind you in the current year, if you're faced with a challenge, hey, you faced one last year and you overcame it and you learned these things. So it's a great reinforcement of that. Okay, now we're going to flip to your current year. So what do you want to learn? Let's see, what do you want more of or less of in this current year, 2026? So again, when I looked ahead last year, and I do this in columns, so because sometimes it actually, they relate to each other. So I wanted more time to build my business and less reliance on me, right? Less reliance on me to do the tactical day-to-day things so that I could actually build my business, grow my business, make it better. So these are things that are great reminders for when you want to set boundaries for those things you want less of in order to do the things you want more of. Okay. All right, ready for step 7. Okay, this is where a lot of times we have solopreneurs, we have businesses with very small teams or contractors, right? I have a contractor network. I do not have employees. So I need to know who's out there, who's available, what I'm going to be doing, what talents I need. This is how I assess that, as well as what systems or processes I might need. So I had new people join my team. Some of them were remote. And I chose these people because of what I was working on for that year. So Diane is a trainer, excellent trainer. I have a writer in Denise, and then these are called their company's called Stand for the And we call them the And ladies. They are really helpful in building business, and actually one of them, Melissa Camilleri, is here in Sacramento. So these were things that were going to help me, remind me I had support, I knew talent, I was capturing the support I needed in people and systems at the same time. Okay, so now you want to go into current year goals. This is where we're saying we're going to plan 3 to 5. Don't overdo it. Remember, you're one person, okay? So you want your goals and priorities. And I was still working, for instance, here on diversifying my client base, but I wanted, a number to that. So it was add 1 to 3 new clients in new industries, because I work across all industries. And that gave me a number to look at. So when I go back this year, I can say whether I did that or not. You've probably all heard of SMART or SMARTer goals: specific, right? Measurable. I cannot remember all the time bound. I'm doing them out of order. We had to do that in corporate. So unless you really want to, you don't need to make them, too complex. It's just, look, we have things that come up. We have to be flexible with ourselves. So sure, you can have an idea of when you want to do something, but do you actually, do you need to gauge yourself against that? I don't believe so, because as an entrepreneur, things can be very different at the beginning of the year, middle of the year, end of the year. So we have to give ourselves grace. But you'll see that I do have goals, and they're specific to me. So when I want to leverage my intellectual property, for instance, that's about creating a certain workshop, a pilot, a market, right? So those are the things I'm going to gauge my performance against next week when I do this for 25-26. Any questions on that? Okay, you'll see that I noted on number 5, you want to add to your goals, I would encourage you, at least one commitment you're making to yourself. So mine here was balance for health and well-being. And it's find a balance that prioritizes my and my family's health and well-being. It's important that we take care of ourselves because we're the only ones running our business, right? And then if you have anything like a milestone, so last year I celebrated 5 years on 2/20/25. You want to say, yay, awesome. Note that down. That's a pretty cool accomplishment, right? Things like that, definitely. I know, Kim, you could do something around, how many podcasts you've done. Yours are awesome podcasts. Yeah, we got to share that in the chat so people can see that.
Can I just say, Nicole, is that I have really challenged myself when I'm doing my goals and my look ahead to the year and my look back, is that I do blend in the personal.
Good.
That it's really important to me to be well-rounded in that, because I could totally go into all of the business side things with that. I really take that time also to reflect on the personal side. So I just want to kind of put a pin in that part about your own well-being and what was the year like, and what do I want for myself this year, right? Myself, my family, and what would I like that to look like? Because they really can mesh together in a super lovely way if you choose to look at both of them.
Yes, that's a great point, Kim. Yeah, I think too, because a lot of us work different times, we have our own schedules, they do meld, all of that melds together. So it's a really great point. Okay. All right. Did I already do that? Oh, well, I gave you a preview of that one. So sorry about that. We're celebrating it again. Okay. So this is what the whole thing looked like. I was showing you pieces of this. Remember, it is just like a 15x18 flip chart. I put it in front of me. It's there all year. Underneath it is the previous year. So if I want to look back, and it helps me, every day I look at it, and it helps me stay on track. It helps me when I'm stuck and feeling like I'm in a place where, nothing's going my way, to know that I have accomplished things, I have a plan, and that there are people around me, processes that will help me achieve that and continue to grow as a business owner. Okay. All right. So that's me. And this is actually my book, Just Be Real. So that was a lot of things I was referring to around the Audible, the workshops and all of that. So again, it's more kind of simple, but fun frameworks to use. And this is in a business sense as a manager. Okay, we'll go back here. I'm going to also see if I can plop this in here. I have like a template I drew up of how that actually looks. So let's see if it'll let me do this. Oh, okay. I'm going to send it to Olivia. One more, Olivia. And then that way you have a worksheet, which really helps you process the information, and you have something to help you see just, and you can change it, of course, but to help you see how you might pull it all together the way that I just showed you. Any questions? There we go. So that will be coming your way too. Questions? Anyone want to talk about goals they have? Share a goal that they've been thinking about? Bounce it off us.
No questions, but thank you, Nicole. I really love the unplanned wins because I think that's something that I'm pretty quick to overlook.
Mhm.
Honestly, any wins. I mean, I think we're probably all, I don't know if I'll speak for everyone, but we're all like drivers. So wins are tough to spend time on. We like to get to the goals and what's next. So thank you for grounding us in that because I know that will be helpful. I have my goals for the year and then I'm like, oh, I forgot about all the things that I actually did and what happened and what came my way. So really appreciate that. That will be helpful for me to reflect on.
Wonderful, Lauren. That's great to hear.
I'm one of the ones who does have her 26 goals already done because I did that. I went through and did all my 25s while I was doing my annual budget, pulling all those through. And one of my balancing for marketing and fun is there is a group of us that used to do ladies golf lessons. And we all got together for dinner. And so I'm going to host a monthly 9-hole show up if you can golf outing every month.
That is wonderful. I love it. It's connection, it's healthy, it's fun, it's for you. Yeah, that's great. I love that idea.
How much experience do you need for that? Like, do we need to put this on our goal chart, like to get better in golf to attend anything? Like,
No, it is for ladies of all skill sets. Some of us only golf twice a year for industry tournaments, and some of them are absolutely great golfers. But it's a nice little 9-hole course called Campus Commons that they reopened in May of this year. It's like $25 to play 9 holes, and it usually takes about an hour and a half.
nice. I'm in. I'm there.
Let me know if you want to join, Cora.
I'm in.
Yeah, and Christina's saying she thinks Hagen Oaks has a ladies golf kind of lessons monthly.
They
So-
also used to do a league.
Mhm.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, Tyra Jarvis, she was at our membership mixer, or no, like the membership drive mixer, and I think she used to be, I don't know if she's still a NAWBO member, but she said she used to be at least, and her main business is mentorship, leadership. But she said that she's part of she explained that there's a women's executive golf network, and they merged with the LPGA. Yeah. Because the LPGA had the infrastructure, but the executive network had the membership that they were trying to attract and everything. So, anyways, it does exist. So, yeah.
Those sound like some really good golfers, though, Corlin.
No, she actually said so for them it's more of like making sure like the women like learn the rules, and it's like yeah, she was saying no, it's totally not that. It's more about like being a reflection of your business and how you are professionally, right? So like if you go on the course and you're trying hard, you're not swearing and you're not, well, I mean, probably gonna swear, right? But like knowing the rules and knowing etiquette and everything like that is a reflection of you professionally. So that's kind of one of the things they emphasize and just, getting better. So
Yeah, great. Thanks for sharing that. I did not know.
Yeah, we want to make it a safe space for people who are still learning.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what keeps it fun too. Anyone else want to share any goals? Olivia, you must have lots of goals. More
I've
than 3 to 5, probably, which I recommend, but
Probably. I've been just as we've been going through this, like doing sort of a rough draft, as you've been talking, just sort of like writing down my initial thoughts. And I think what I'm gonna do is then take this rough draft, and sometimes I like to just like let things ruminate, and then or throughout the day today as I'm running around, I'll probably be like, oh, I want to add this or I want to do that. And so just sort of add to it before I do my, more finalized, pretty version of it. Yeah, and I found kind of like what Kim was saying, a lot of my goals are actually more personal or about like me and my wellness and sort of holistic. But I think, most of us here are business owners or running organizations. And so I think, our wellness and our self care directly impacts our ability to show up and to hold space for other people in whatever way we do that, or even as you're talking about the golf course, right? Like being able to show up confidently in our lives that way too, and in business meetings and things. So my goals actually are just a lot more about my wellness. I'm really trying to. I have 2 dogs, as you heard earlier, and one of my goals is to like make sure that I every day take at least 20 minutes to go outside and take them on a walk, and more traveling. Those are 2 of my
yes.
goals.
Yes, and that's consistent with your business too. Both things really, right? So,
Yeah,
yeah. So,
yeah, and just
yeah.
more downtime, more nature time are my biggest goals. I'm coming out of a season of like really pushing myself and working really hard. So that was what I wrote down for one thing I'm really proud of. But I'm calling it less doing things on my own and more downtime and enjoyment. Yeah. So I really love
Sounds
this
good.
whole framework, and I'm going to keep working it.
Wonderful. Well, everybody, I hope you can access the links. So those are the 2 pieces. Yes.
I wanted to share something, Nicole. I did so mine, it's actually it's more of a process kind of thing where I'm at right now. I actually did a whole podcast the other day on I don't have my goal. I don't have everything set this year. Like I'm normally like frenzied. I got to get it done. And this year I'm just kind of leaning into it. I learned this term, the liminal space, the in-between world, the in the hallway before the door opens space. And so I'm really leaning into that. Thank you, Christina. She listened to it. I just had this thing of like, I got to talk about where I'm at because I don't have everything set. The thing that I do have, which came to me on it's right here. So it's commitment. And this is on New Year's Day, my yoga studio had you do 108 sun salutations. That's a lot up and down off the ground, 108. And I did it 8 o'clock in the morning on New Year's Day. And what came to me, so they wanted to do a word before you started, and I didn't know what that was going to be, and it just came commitment. Yeah, okay, I'll talk about that. Yes, Christina's giving me a message. And it was commitment. And it was like, and it was really not about it's like, what's my commitment to myself? What's been showing up? And what I wanted to do last year was do one, oh, now I'm going to say it out loud. God dang it. I wanted to do one podcast a week last year, and I didn't. I didn't meet that mark, and I feel bad. And it made me think about what's my commitment to myself, and like, how can I stay true to the things I actually really want to do and bring value to me? I like talking. I'm a therapist. We like to talk. And so commitment's been the word that I've been leaning into this last week. So that is something I've been thinking. So what I'm saying is it's more of a process goal right now of being in that mindfulness of what's my commitment to me? What is commitment about? What does that mean? And where can I really say, heck yes, I'm in it? There you go. So, and the 100 list that Christina's talking about over there is I literally write down a list of all the things I want to do, be, have. And this is like literally, I want to go to the Ritz Hotel is one of the things. One of them before was go to yoga during the week. All kinds of things that cost money and things that don't cost money. But the podcast talks about that. And so it's like how you blend these things together for your work, for your life is kind of what I'm all in for. So there you go.
I love
The 100
that.
list, yes. Yeah. If you want the 100 list, let me know.
Yes. And I put your episode in
Thank you.
on liminal space. So I actually drew from that. Since I listened to it, it helped me a lot, Kim. So I think too.
Are you serious? Thank you, Nicole.
Yes.
So cool.
Yes, of course. And
Yeah.
I think too that as you said, you were disappointed in yourself because you didn't do one podcast a week. That's why I say be more flexible. It's not necessarily about, I'm going to do this 52 times. You're also needing to look at, hey, there were other things that you prioritized over that. That you didn't know maybe were going to happen and became unplanned wins. So, no, we have enough on our plates, owning our own businesses, with our households, all of those things. Don't be too hard on yourself.
Yeah. And sometimes it's like I gave up on my commitment to myself. That's more of where I was sitting. What I was sitting with is that I let other things become more important than me. Ooh. Right. And so if it's important to me, how can I keep my commitment to myself? And I'm sitting with it with love.
Good. And graciousness to yourself. Yes. And Dawn says she needs to come up with her word of the year. How many people have done that in the past? Yes, I have mine. So this process can actually help you get to that as well.
I don't have mine yet either, Dawn. But Nicole has helped me with it in the past.
Liz. Liz was on my team in the past.
I love that we're also talking about like the liminal space too, because I think sometimes it's like, okay, January 1st or Monday morning, after the holidays, do this whole process and have your word and do all these things, and it can feel really overwhelming. And that's kind of why I was sharing, like, I did a rough draft, but I also, something I've been really feeling into the past couple months especially is like slowing down. I tend to move very fast and want to just like get things done. But I already had my word of the year, and that has sort of like informed my goals. But maybe there was one part of this practice that you're like, oh, I automatically know that's it. And so I don't know, just an invitation to give yourself time to come up with goals. And and maybe you have a word of the year. Maybe that comes before all this. Maybe it's after. But sometimes like we don't know actually what we want in a moment,
I wanted to chime in something on that too, because I took like a training lately, and it was talking about, especially if we're in like the entrepreneurial space, like more who are we becoming? Not just like, so when you set goals, they seem like, oh, I'm holding myself accountable to do these things. But it was like, who are we becoming, and connecting with like, okay, the statement like in a year from now, if I did, what will have happened? What will my life look like in a year? If I achieve all these things. And it may, because I know in my, like back to the unexpected wins, like in my life, wherever I started the year is not where, like a lot of stuff happened that was better than I thought. And then a whole bunch of unexpected things I had to deal with happened that took me away from the original plan. And so celebrating at the end of the year that like, no matter what, we're going to learn, but also it's really about what is what is our vision of like, because I think when we set goals, there's an idea that says, if I achieve this, this is what my life will be like. This is how I'm going to feel. This is how much, freedom I'll have, money I'll have, relationship I'll have, whatever, health I'll have. And so, kind of that reframe, I think has been helpful for me to not, punish myself over goals, but still kind of be in like a flow state. And that's like that liminal space I'm hearing about too, which is really cool.
That's great. Yeah, it's flexibility for us because we need to be flexible with ourselves and what will come, as you said, we sometimes don't know what things we're going to be faced with too in a year. So. Well, anybody else have anything to add?
Yeah, and apologies, Nicole, I was late. I had another meeting, but one of the things that kind of resonated, I think Kim and Amy both touched on this, was where am I going to be in a year, my goals. And one of the things that I wanted to share with the group that had somewhat amazing results was I wrote myself a letter, and I wrote, I will have $1 million. I didn't say $1 million, but I think I said more. And, by this time in 2026 or whatever, I will be 1, 2, 3. I will change my career. I will, and just putting that like assertive, here's what I'm going to do, or here's where I will be. And it ended up being 2 pages back on the front and back of each page. And then I put it in an envelope, sealed it, and wrote to myself, don't open this until this date, a year from now. And some of the things I wrote happened. Some of the things I wrote didn't happen, but just the act of putting it down and then kind of forgetting about it and not feeling like, oh my gosh, if this doesn't happen, the world's going to end. And coming back to that a year later and seeing the results that I was able to achieve just by putting it down on paper was really astounding. And just it's kind of a practice I do every year. So I just wanted to share that with the group. I know it might seem a little hokey, but honestly, it was really uplifting to see the things I did achieve based on that list.
I love that, Liz. I think these are all really great ideas to, motivate us and recognize the work we're doing and the work that we're achieving in a year and what might be ahead even beyond that. So that's awesome. I love that. Okay. All right. Anyone else? Olivia, do you want to share what upcoming events we might have?
Sure. Let me pull them up so I don't miss anything. So in January, it is January, it's 2026 now.
Yes.
We have our next event, I believe, yes, is a member mastermind at Frequency Co-working. And this is open to NAWBO members. This is also, it's on Monday, January 26th from 9 to 11 a.m. in Rancho Cordova. And this would be a great, if you're someone who needs accountability or like a deadline, I am that person. Like, if I don't have a deadline for myself, I'll never actually do this practice, right? So if you're a NAWBO member, you're welcome to join us, and maybe you bring your completed goals. And generally the format is we talk about wins from the past month, but maybe we'll do it for the past year. And then we talk about challenges we're currently facing and sort of workshop that together, and then we walk away with one action item. So it's usually a smaller group of us, which is nice. We get plenty of time to talk about what's going on in our businesses and bounce ideas off of each other. So that is Monday, January 26th from 9 to 11 at Frequency Co-working. And then one of our annual events is on Saturday, January 31st. It's our business pitch and showcase with Junior Achievement. And this is where we have all of the Junior Achievement clubs that we work with on different high school campuses, they come together and the students do business pitches. So we'll have NAWBO members and partners and community members judging their pitches. It's like a competition. It's really fun. You can find more about that on our website. That should be uploaded here soon. And that's it for January. We're giving ourselves a nice, easy start. No need to go crazy, right? We're in the liminal space still. It's still the winter. And then our first event of February is February 5th from 9 to 11 a.m., I believe, at the SMUD headquarters. And this is a business builder that we're doing with SMUD to talk more about their seed vendor program and the resources they have for business owners. The next big event that's more like networking, social type of event that we have going on, I know this feels far out, but it's going to happen quickly, is we're doing for the first time ever a formal dress swap before our Owl Gala. And I'm sure a lot of you go to different awards and events and galas and things like that. And I don't know how many of you feel like you have to buy a new dress or outfit every time you go to one, or you have a bunch of old dresses and formal wear in a closet that you feel like you can't wear again because you already took the pictures in them. So if that's the case, if that's you, you can come join us Friday, February 20th. It's about, I think it's 2 weeks before the Owl Gala. So if you don't find anything you love at the swap, you still have time to shop and figure out a different alternative. We wanted to make sure we didn't do it too close.
Can I also say for that, Olivia, if you have something you want to wear like me and you want people to check it out, to give you feedback, wear it. Like, come to that event and wear it, and then I always need feedback.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
I'm serious. I do. I have a 17-year-old. I have to, like, is this like, am I okay right now? So get your feedback. So come anyway.
Yes,
Yeah.
and we'll have, light bites and drinks, and I'm sure music playing, and it'll be a lot of fun. So even if you're not like, I need an outfit, or you don't have to bring anything to swap, it's totally free. If you just want to get rid of some dresses and donate them, you can do that. If you don't have anything to donate and you're looking for something, you can just come and shop the swap. This is really an effort to be more sustainable, to avoid fast fashion, to give ourselves a break in our bank account. If you have accessories you want to bring or shoes, you can do that as well. We'll have mirrors and so it's the first time I believe our chapter is ever doing something like this.
Yes.
So it'll be a lot of fun. And we've done clothing swaps before, but not specifically a formal dress swap. All sizes are welcome, and I'm currently looking to see if anybody here knows, actually, I'll just put the call out, of a local nonprofit who does like a Cinderella's Closet type of situation. Have you all heard of that around prom season? I think
we have one. I know
You can
one.
donate to any of the Sacramento libraries as well.
Oh, great. Yeah, Tracy, if you can let me know the one you know as well. Because I'd really love for any of the dresses that don't get swapped to be able to go to a Cinderella's Closet, and that's for teens who maybe can't afford to shop for prom to be able to go get a prom dress for free. So, also if you're not sure if it's like a gala outfit or something like that, or if it's appropriate for Owl, don't worry about that. Just bring what you have. It's a nice time to clean out our closets too, right? Because Lord knows they're going to get fuller throughout the year. So yeah, that's our next big like in-person mixer type event. And then of course we have the Owl Awards coming up at the beginning of March. So Nicole, do you want to share a little bit more about Owl?
Oh, it is the place to be on March 7th, that's for sure. It's really exciting to be honoring all the finalists. We have 7 categories, and at the event, the winner is announced for each category. It's a really fun time. You get to connect with, there'll be probably about 400 people there who are committed to supporting and celebrating women-owned business. And it is from 5 to 10 p.m. at the Sheraton Grand in Sacramento. So there's information about that event in the events link that I put in, along with all the rest of those that Olivia was talking about on our NAWBO events calendar.
And just lots of really great things are happening in our chapter this year too. Our advocacy team is actually working on legislation at the Capitol right now to help define a micro business, and most of us here probably own a micro business or are part of a micro business. So we'll have more information about that and how you can get involved in advocacy in the next couple months. And if you're not already a NAWBO member, we have both of our membership chairs here, Kim and Coraline, and you can reach out to them to learn more. Also, I'm a resource as well. Nicole is a resource if you're interested in learning, Tracy as well, if you're interested in learning more about NAWBO and our mission and what we do in the community.
Thank you, Olivia.
Yeah, thank you, Nicole. This was great. I have lots of wheels turning and ideas, and I honestly had not thought about my actual goals. I just had my word of the year, so this was really good. Thank you.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, and have a great rest of your Wednesday.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Have a great
Nicole.
day.
Bye.
Thank you.